Brian, when we look at a crop like corn or soybeans, it's an annual crop. It's going to die off when we get some frost or when we get to harvest and it makes seed. That's it. We don't have to worry about it. But when it comes to alfalfa, once it's served its useful life, maybe that's 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending on where you're at and what your situation is. Now we've still got this perennial crop, and even though it may be thin out there, we've got to do something to kill it in order to put another crop in.
The problem is with alfalfa, for example, when it becomes thin, you get some other perennials that are growing in there, like quackgrass is one of the worst. And now we've got a real problem because we have a broadleaf in alfalfa that's perennial and a grass that's a perennial in quackgrass. So that's not real easy to do. We might even need different herbicides to control those two different types of weeds.
Well, what I think about with alfalfa is this. You know, we're coming off a super dry year, so it's really going to be accentuated here because alfalfa's got this great big taproot system. Yep. It's pulled out a lot of moisture, and that ground, in my opinion, is going to be fairly dry coming out of alfalfa, more so than other crops. And wow, I've got this very dry ground that next year I want to have a successful crop in. I need to get that alfalfa out now. I can't wait until next spring to do it.
Right, so what we encourage you to do is as soon as your growing season is getting about to the end, to go out there with a very strong rate of Roundup. Now you could use Banville or 2,4-D also if you wanted to. The reason why I like Roundup is because then it'll kill any grasses as well, where Banville and 2,4-D won't do that. But the point is you need to do this before you get your first hard killing frost in the fall. In fact, at least a week before you get your first hard killing frost. If you wait until after your first hard killing frost and then spray Roundup or even 2,4-D or Banville, your control percentage goes way down. And we want to get that alfalfa and any weeds out there under control right away this fall, so going into the winter, we're not still sucking some moisture out of that soil, so then we have more moisture left for the next crop.
All right, you make it sound so easy, Brent. Oh, we just got to take it out this fall. But there's some guys out there that say, well, I don't need to spend all this money on herbicides. I'll just go out and do some tillage on that
all
field.
This money. I mean, even for a double rate of Roundup, you're going to spend a whopping $4. Wow.
Well, it might be $5, Brent. It might be $5. But still, I mean, there's some guys that say, you know, it's been an alfalfa a long time. I want to till that up and have a nice even seed bed out in the field, but that could be the wrong thing to do.
Well, I don't mind a little bit of light tillage. What I have a problem with is major tillage. And the reason why is because you're going to destroy some of your organic matter. Just don't ever forget that organic matter contains a lot of nutrients. And also, for every additional point of organic matter you have, your soil can hold approximately 4% more water. Okay, so if you ruin a couple percent of organic matter, I mean, now that's 8% less water your soil can hold. Do you think that would have made a difference in a drought year like this year? You bet. In every year it's going to make a difference. Don't destroy your organic matter. Again, if you need to do a little light tillage, that's fine. But don't do major tillage out there.
But do that light tillage after you've got all the plants killed out there. That's the important thing. When you're talking about perennial weeds and a perennial crop like alfalfa, you've got an extensive root system, and many of those perennial weeds are going to have rhizomes that shoot across the ground underneath. And then they're going to pop up new shoots. Well, if you chop up those rhizomes, you're going to have all these different plants coming up. And when you spray your Roundup or whatever product you spray, if you're trying to get it down through that root system, now that root system's chopped up. So you spray on the plant that's up, but you don't get that one that's over a little bit that's just about to pop up, and now your control is going to be poor.
Now, if you happen to have Roundup Ready alfalfa, that's still not very difficult to control. Just go with a high rate of Banville or a high rate of 2,4-D. You can take that out with a herbicide. You can do the same thing next spring. So let's say you had Roundup Ready alfalfa this year. You want to plant Roundup Ready soybeans next year. That might not be the best thing because there's no way to control Roundup Ready alfalfa in Roundup Ready soybeans. My suggestion would be to go to something like corn or wheat. That way you can use different products that would kill volunteer alfalfa.
Well, what I like to, Brian, is when you think about it, if you're doing all this in the fall, now in our part of the world, you've got winter kill as well. And if you damage that plant pretty severely, now it's weak, and chances are winter may give it the finishing blow.
It might, but still, you're most likely going to have some volunteer plants next year. That's why we like to have some options. So again, if you've got Roundup Ready alfalfa, do not follow that with Roundup Ready soybeans. If it's regular alfalfa, fine, follow it with Roundup Ready soybeans. You can control that alfalfa with Roundup.
Well, Brian, all these things are great for taking out alfalfa and quackgrass, but what about our weed of the week? We'll show you one of the tougher weeds to control coming up later in the show.